Coming out of the last game, for 10 minutes, we were unbelievable. Right now, they're going to test it 30 seconds at a time. We're going to have to grind it out, right, in 40 minutes of play. So about 75 to 80 possessions, right? We got to make sure it's gritty. They're not going where they want to go. They're not doing what they want to do, right? And we're dictating for 40. You got it? Yes, come on, let's bring it in. Let's get it. First 4 minutes now.
Michael Jordan. They won it! Wow! Oh my goodness! How about that? Oh boy! Unbelievable! Dreams to come true. As good as it gets.
It's fitting to finish this Veterans Day weekend just down the road from the Soldier and Sailor Monument in Indianapolis. Just a few miles as we welcome you inside the Hinkle Fieldhouse. And don't tell the Butler faithful it's just the start of the season. They had a sellout on Friday, expecting a close to near sellout here tonight as well. Hey folks, how are you? Jason Horowitz, happy to be alongside Coach Pete Gillen. Happy to have you with us. May just be day 3 of the college basketball season, but we got a good one for us. Butler coming off an 18-point win against Kennesaw State, but Pete, tonight's the first game of the year for Princeton.
We have a terrific game tonight. Both these teams went to the NCAA tournament last year. Butler went to the Sweet 16. Princeton played a great game against Notre Dame, lost by 2 points, could have won at the buzzer. Both these teams love to shoot a lot of threes, play excellent defense. It's going to be a fun game.
Yeah, both these teams lost a lot off last year's team, but they both return a good amount as well. And for Butler, Keelan Martin, preseason first team All-Big East.
Keelan Martin is a dynamic scorer. He can score from all 3 levels. He can knock down a three-point shot, he can get into the lane and finish at the rim. He's got a good mid-range game. He's great in the open court. He's an explosive player. He can take over the game at any time.
Meanwhile, for Princeton, last year ran through the Ivy League undefeated, got to the tournament. Miles Stevens, if they're going to do it again this year, he's got to be the catalyst.
Miles Stevens was the defensive player of the year in the Ivy League. He's a very good athlete. He can score inside or outside. Tremendous defensive player. Block shots. He's great in open court. He's a special player.
Tigers expecting to have a good season again in the Ivy League. They want to get off to a good start here tonight in Indianapolis. Butler already got off to a good start with a win against Kennesaw State. Can they keep it rolling? Tip coming up next on CBS Sports Network. A who's who of coaches here at Butler, and Laval Jordan now the latest to follow Brad Stevens, who was followed by Chris Holtman, who's now at Ohio State, but it's Laval Jordan now leading the Butler Bulldogs 1-0 on the season. The former Butler player set to take on Princeton. Jason Horowitz, Pete Gillen, the starting lineups tonight here on this Sunday night. For Princeton, they lost 3 starters to graduation. They start 2 freshmen, Jerome DeRosier and Sebastian Much. A couple of guys they are expecting a lot from, especially early in the season. Meanwhile, for Butler, Kamar Baldwin moves to the point after a fabulous freshman season. And Paul Jorgensen, a transfer from George Washington after sitting out last year. He had 4 assists in their opening win against Kennesaw State, 82-64. Nearly 9,000 packed to the rafters here in Hinkle Fieldhouse. The Colts earlier today, and now the Bulldogs here on Sunday night. And Pete, you and I are getting our season underway.
Unbelievable. Can't wait. Great to be with you again, Jason. Princeton starts out man-to-man, which they play 95% of the time.
Butler got off to a very hot start, led Kennesaw State 20-4. Just 5 minutes into that game on Friday night. Inside of 9 on the shot clock. That's McDermott. And the rebound, McDermott's the rebound with Paul Jorgensen on the miss. Rebounding was an issue last year for Butler already. Good start here on the offensive possession.
Princeton's a big concern too, because he had a very young front line, as you know, 2 freshmen in the starting lineup.
Great ball movement for the Bulldogs early. McDermott didn't score on Friday, and he's short on that shot as well. And Devin Kennedy with the rebound.
Princeton's going to play at a little slower pace. They want to take their time, all right, make the defense move it side to side. They like to score in the first 5 seconds of the shot clock, Jason, or the last 5 seconds.
They're approaching the last 5 here. That's Amir Bell. Last year, coming off the bench, takes the 3 and buries it. Princeton's first shot is a triple this season.
Amir Bell, he's got a terrific mid-range game, but if he knocks down threes, he's going to be very tough to guard.
That's Keelan Martin, second team All Big East last year, averaged 16 points per game. And deep in the shot clock again for the Bulldogs. Baldwin gets his own shot and lays it in.
Great move, very talented player, can get to the rim very easily. As you mentioned before, he went from being a two-guard last year, shooting the ball. Now he's got to run the point.
How hard is that?
Very difficult, but once again, he's very talented, and certainly Laval Jordan does a great job mentoring guards.
Kennedy drills the triple. That's about the spot where he missed last year in the loss to Notre Dame in the first round of the tournament.
It was a 4-point shot, Jason. A couple of years. I was way downtown. He's from Mishawaka, Indiana, right outside of South Bend, Indiana, where Notre Dame is, of course, and he's really fired up to play here in his home state.
Great footwork from Tyler Weidman, the senior from Schererville, Indiana, as well. He averaged 7 points and 5 boards a game. He had 13 in the win on Friday.
Yeah. I think Butler's going to go inside, go at, once again, the young front line of Princeton.
And a foul called on Butler. That's going against Baldwin. All right, how about the coaches? And for Princeton, it is Mitch Henderson in his 7th season as the Princeton head coach. Played for Pete Carrill at Princeton and a longtime assistant at Northwestern. He led the Tigers to the tournament last year for the first time since 2011. And Laval Jordan coming home. Last year, first year as a head coach, was at Milwaukee. Led the Panthers to the championship game of the Horizon League. And he got the call from Barry Collier to come back to Butler, where he played when Chris Holtmann left to take the head coaching job at Ohio State in June. Keelan Martin doing all the work, leaves it for Weidman. Counted the foul.
Nice spin, excellent move, terrific pass inside, nice finish by Weidman. Young man's a wrecking machine in the low post, Jason. 6'8", 240. He's gotten better year after year. It's going to be a handful for this young front line of Princeton.
Weidman last year a 65% free throw shooter. And good on that, so a 7-6 lead for Butler. Both teams to the bench. Laval Jordan just brought in Aaron Thompson, a freshman guard from Glendale, Maryland, who, in talking to Coach Jordan before the game, what do you like most about him? He said, he's going to be our leader for 4 years.
Terrific point guard.
And an offensive foul on Richmond Ariraguzzo. He just checked into the game. That is a sophomore from Ewing, New Jersey. And he's like a lot of the players in the front court for Princeton this year, Pete. They lost a lot of their front court from last season, so they're going to be working in new guys throughout the course of tonight.
And the big thing with Princeton, they want to win their non-conference games where they're building for the Ivy. Let's beat Yale and Harvard and Penn and the top teams. That's the key for them. 4-6, as you know, preseason last year. They won 19 in a row. Got to the big dance.
And that first loss came in the tournament. They lost to Notre Dame by 2 in a 5-12 matchup, and they had a shot to win it at the buzzer. 1 point, Bulldogs lead, 3.5 gone by in the opening game of the season for Princeton. Game number 2 of the year for the Bulldogs. Kennedy, and that's a mismatch. Tyler Weidman called for the foul.
Princeton plays excellent defense. They held their opponent to 41% last year. Nice penetration by Jorgensen. Weidman goes up. No, not right now. Miles Stevens, the Ivy League Defensive Player of the Year, got a piece of that.
Weidman going to the bench. Nate Fowler checking in, the junior out of Cincinnati, Ohio. One-on-one, Bell works on Jorgensen. Tough shot, McDermott with his second rebound. That is Thompson quickly ahead into the front court. Jorgensen fouled by Amir Bell. And Paul Jorgensen will go to the free throw line with a chance to get on the board. That's John Cougar Mellencamp. That's an Indiana native. That's one of Pete Gillen's favorites.
I love him. He's got great sound. He's got skills.
Butler with a 1-point lead over Princeton, 7-6 in Laval Jordan's second game coaching his alma mater. He was an assistant here under Brad Stevens, then left to go to Iowa for a few years, and then at Michigan under John Beilein. He got the head coaching job at Milwaukee. It wasn't the greatest season, but as soon as Chris Holtmann left, Barry Collier called up LaVall Jordan and said, hey, we want you to come back to Butler. And that's exactly what it did, named the head coach, 24th head coach in school history on June 12th. And, you know, talking to LaVall Jordan, who played here until 2001, went to 3 NCAA tournaments, I said, what was the biggest adjustment for you? And he said, well, when I left Butler, we didn't have 7,500 people paying for tickets in an exhibition game. We were sold out on Friday night.
Exactly. Chartering planes, you know, eating steak, having filet mignon, you know, so he's living large.
But you and I had the chance to catch up with Barry Collier, who's the athletic director here at Butler, and we said, what do you remember about LaVall Jordan as a player for you, and what did you like about hiring him? And he said, he was the ultimate team player.
Right. He was the glue. I coached against Barry Collier when he was the head coach at Butler, and I was at Xavier. He's a class guy, tremendous coach. He's an unbelievable job picking coaches. Brad Stevens, that matter, people like that. You know, Todd Licklicker did a great job when he was here. Chris Holtmann did a great job. So, did an unbelievable job as an AD here at Butler. And he's a class guy. His wife Annette's lovely. A great family.
Fouls on Nate Fowler. Alec Brennan, senior out of Weston, Massachusetts, goes to the line. And this is another one of those players for Princeton who was only playing 6, 7, 8 minutes a game last year, but with the departure of Spencer Weiss and Stephen Cook to graduation, they need these guys to play. Split the pair. It did snap a 7-0 Butler run.
A great matchup with Keelan Martin against Miles Stevens. You know, now they switched a little bit. Princeton switches a lot because they got big wings. They can do that.
Wow. That is Aaron Thompson. That is the freshman taking it into himself.
Remember the name. Aaron Thompson's got game. Loves to penetrate.
Stevens, this is another freshman, Ryan Schwieger, and Jorgensen got him with the body down low. That is his first, and this is the fourth on Butler.
Here we see the young man, freshman, Aaron, nice crossover, nice finish, you know, like high off the glass, nice kiss. Paul VI Catholic School in Northern Virginia. The Catholic League, as you know, in D.C. area is one of the best perennially in the country with the Matha, St. John's, and a lot of great schools there. The competition, good counsel.
Henry Badley checks into the game for Sean McDermott, the 6'4" sophomore out of Wadsworth, Ohio. He only played about 5 minutes a game last season, but Badley expected to be one of the first off the bench this year for Butler. Brennan has the nice touch, and Princeton has hit 3 triples in the first 5.5 minutes. Patience, Keelan Martin comes up short. Jorgensen tips it to himself, and he'll take a 3. And that is a foul on Keelan Martin. And now Butler 5. How about that last bucket, though, ball movement here, Pete?
Great penetration here. Nice penetration. Get into the lane. They love to penetrate. And they're going to kick out here for a jump shot from the perimeter. Penetration kick, big staple for Princeton. Nice penetration by Stevens. Kick the ball out to the corner. Way downtown. Splash. Penetrate and kick. It's a big part of the Princeton offense.
But that's not the same Princeton offense that people think about when you were coaching against Pete Carrill.
No, you sound like Jason. Very impressive. You sound like the coach. No, they don't run it. They're running more motion now. They have some Princeton principles, which means what? Go back door, spread out, pass and pick and pop back. But it's more motion offense now. Why are they doing that? Because it was getting stereotyped. People were predicting what they were going to do. So they're using more freelance. It's helped them recruit a little bit too. People can be more creative.
All right, Jorgensen picked up his second foul, so he's going to have to go to the bench. How about the keys to the season for Princeton, Pete?
Well, they got a lot of keys. Freshmen, they got to really help out in the front court. take great care of the ball, which they do. Last year, only 10 turnovers, and make more three-point shots. They shot 41% from three-point land. They took 26 a game. They're going to have to take even more this year because they don't have inside scoring.
It's a great take by Amir Bell, but he was off balance. So Jorgensen's on the bench with 2 fouls. Inside, Weidman! And that's where Butler has the advantage here tonight against Princeton.
Yep. It's the Butler front court with their strength and experience against the talented, experienced backcourt of Princeton.
Now, one thing, though, that'll help Princeton here in the first half, the next foul on Butler is going to send the Tigers to the free throw line for the rest of the half.
Well, they got to be aggressive. They got to attack the basket. They don't do that too often.
Stevens goes to work and beats the shot clock. And the officials want to check it out to make sure that he did beat the shot clock. Remember, that is something that they can review all throughout the game. It's not just the last couple of minutes. They can check if a shot beat the shot clock at any point.
That's a new rule, yep. They can check any time when it's a shot clock situation, whether it's good or not.
We'll take a look at this as well.
Yep, Stevens back in. He's very strong, very physical. Going against Kamar Baldwin, who's only 6'1". That's 6'5" against 6'1". It looks like it was good, I think, Jason. It looks like it's good.
Now, you highlighted Miles Stevens off the top of the broadcast. Last year, 12.5 points per game. He was the Ivy League Tournament Most Outstanding Player. And you talked about his defense at the beginning, but they need him to be offensive-minded.
Good point. Each year he's gotten a little better offensively. All right, he's a better defensive player than offensive, but he's getting better. He attacks the basket very well. He's improved outside shooting. He's a fabulous player. First team All Ivy League last year. Miles Stevens is very, very talented. And certainly one of the best players in the Ivy League.
Seven and a half into this opening half. Butler up by 4. Martin yet to get going. Their leading scorer, Keelan Martin. And Thompson fouled on his way to the bucket. And that is on Devin Kennedy. That is his second. And so that's problematic for Princeton as well.
Certainly. Terrific player. They might have to think about some zone or switch him off. Thompson is a tremendous penetrator. Gets into the lane very easily. Not a great perimeter shooter. I had players when I coached at times, the only time they get into the lane was the first day of practice, media day for the team picture.
He's got 3. Butler making the tournament last year. They were preseason 8th this year in the Big East. What are the keys to success for Laval Jordan this season?
Well, Kamar Baldwin must make the transition to the point guard. He was a 2-guard last year, completely. Tyler Wyman's got to score more in the low post from the center. And Keelan Martin must play like a first-team All-Big East selection, which he was. All right, he was second-team All-Big East last year by the coach's vote, but he's got to step it up even more this year. But they're a lot better than the 8th choice, I think, in the Big East. The coaches picked them 8. I'm not going to say who they're better than, but they can be much better than 8, I think.
You don't want to offend anybody?
No, I got more enemies. I got enough. But people are still coming after me at Providence, Virginia, Xavier. I got a duck.
Georgetown and DePaul, the only 2 teams that they were picked in front of preseason by the coaches. And remember, Butler has made the tournament 9 of the last 11 years. Brennan knocks in his second 3 off the bench. Alec Brennan with 6 points.
Terrific. Senior from Western Massachusetts. Experience. Butler's not intimidated, when they come in. Princeton round's not intimidated when they come in. Played Notre Dame in the NCAA tournament, almost beat them. They play a great schedule, Princeton, so they're not afraid coming in here.
Timeout on the next whistle. Butler up by 3. Princeton has hit 4 triples on 4 3-point attempts tonight. Stevens. Miles Stevens gets Princeton back within 1. They leave Baldwin open. Now, Butler got off to such a hot start. Laval Jordan, you heard him talk about it at the beginning of this broadcast in the locker room. He said they were going to get a lot from Princeton on the Tigers' opening game of the season, and they certainly have gotten that here in the first 9 minutes.
You're saying, Jason, shooting makes up for a multitude of sins. Great Chuck Daly, the coach of Dream Team #1, said that, and Prince is knocking down shots. But here we go. Butler has an all-court player, Keelan Martin. Here we see a nice penetration, a missed shot. Keelan Martin goes up, up, and away. He's a big guy, 6'7", 220, putting all on the deck, crossing over, get into the lane. He draws the defense, kicks it inside to Weidman. Great basketball by the Bulldogs.
Jason Horwitz, Coach Pete Gillen back with you at Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. Butler leading Princeton by a point. 10:56 to go in the first half. And Pete, new head of officials, J.D. Collins, is the national coordinator of officiating. He tried some experimental rules last year, including free throws during the NIT, resetting it after 10. But there are a bunch of new rules and new emphasis this year.
There are, but the big thing is they still want freedom of movement. The rule is 10/1/4, which means you guys got to move. You can't hold, you can't grab. So I think that's the biggest thing. They want to have more scoring. Scoring was up about 6.7 points a game, Jason, last season. That's more fun. 3 or 4 years ago, if you recall, it was like football. Guys were wrestling in the mud. So I think J.D. Collins doing a great job trying to make the game more exciting, more fun.
And then a couple of other aspects this year that you'll see, fouls, violations that happen in the front court. They won't reset the shot clock to 30. They'll reset it to 20 seconds. That foul, speaking of fouls, is on Aaron Young, a senior point guard for Princeton. He's into the game.
Yep, he's a good player, can really shoot the ball. Now, Princeton came out with a 1-3-1 half-court trap, Jason, there. They do that after timeout. They do it randomly. It's a change of pace, and when you make people think, their feet get slower. So, nice job, I thought, that time by Mitch Henderson. A little change of pace. Now they'll probably go back to man-to-man. We'll see.
Badly back to the bench for Laval Jordan. And just a couple of moments for Aaron Young on the floor, and they get Miles Stevens back up. Thompson with great handles, and Aaron Thompson has 6 early points.
Oh my, I can see why Laval Jordan loves that guy. He's terrific. Only a freshman.
This was a heralded recruiting class that Chris Holtman had coming in. He was one of the prizes of it, and he stuck it out when Laval Jordan got named the head coach. And that is Kamar Baldwin whistled for the foul. That is his second. And the Bulldogs, Princeton is in the bonus. Go back to that last bucket by the freshman.
Aaron Thompson, nice penetration. He's in, uses the rim as a protector. Nice lefty scoop. Terrific young player. Aaron Thompson, Ball 6, Catholic High School, Virginia. He's from Glendale, Maryland.
Now, so Baldwin has 2 fouls. Jorgensen has 2 fouls. That's the starting backcourt for Butler. Badly back in for Baldwin, and we'll see how long those 2 guys can stay on the bench. Richmond, Ariri for a 1-and-1.
If I'm Princeton, I'd consider playing some zone. Kamar Baldwin, one of the best perimeter shooters. Make Thompson prove it from the outside. He's penetrating great. Hands up Harry, that's what I would consider if I'm Mitch Henderson.
He split the pair. Mitch Henderson, an Indiana native, born in Vincennes, Indiana, about an hour and a half from here. Maybe 2 hours down the road, depending on Colts traffic on a Sunday. Ariri Guzzo battles for the rebound, and Tyler Weidman just picked up his second foul.
All right, here we see now, nice switch. They can switch because both guys here, all right, both guys are the same size. So a lot of switching by Princeton because they're the same size. Nice switch. Here they contest the jump shot. Big guy, excellent defense that time by Princeton because they can switch because they got a lot of big wings.
So Weidman to the bench with his second foul, and Ariri Guzzo hits the front end of the 1-and-1. And Pete, talking with Laval Jordan before the game, I said, what was the toughest part about your first game being back home? And he said, I wasn't nervous. I was excited just to see how the guys played. I said, anything nervous about tonight? He said, if we get in foul trouble. Well, 3 of their starters have 2 fouls.
Yeah, they got pretty good depth. And once again, I think the ball is in good hands, certainly with Aaron Thompson, the freshman. He's a pure point guard.
Martin steps back. It's tapped up in the air, and there goes Amir Bell for the board. Kennedy, he's got 2 fouls. He's back in the game for Princeton.
Got to be careful. He's so juiced. Living from the state of Indiana, from Mishawaka, Indiana, he's really fired up to play. He's a gym rat. He's the biggest gym rat on the team. He's the guy that wants to take over a game.
Stevens well short. He thought it was tipped. Did Kennedy push off?
Shot fake. I think he did. He got away with it. Very fortunate for the Tigers. That was a charge. Yep, a little wing with that right hand.
I think Aaron Thompson might be taking acting 101.
I thought he gave him a little bit. I thought he had a...
I hear it's really popular.
Right, no, if you extend that elbow, it wasn't a flat elbow, it was an extension elbow. It was going to be an official, you know, but I was close. But
well, you want to be liked by people, though. Martin finds the open man. Badly drives, and a blocking foul. Mike LeBlanc, the senior from New Hampshire, was inside the restricted area, and so Badley will go back to the line.
Here we see great offense here in the double team. They throw the ball inside, a double team here now Princeton. They skip the ball to the other side of the court. Keelan Martin, nice skip. He's got the ball, penetration to the rim, foul. So great offense that time by Butler. When you double team, Jason, as you know, swing it to the other side of the court, other corner or other wing. Great job that time by Keelan Martin.
Butler with some foul trouble that Laval Jordan will have to deal with here early going. But Princeton's got some fouls too. Butler shooting free throws the rest of this first half as well.
Yep. And we see that Devin Kennedy, the leading returning scorer for Princeton, is on the bench. Because I think Mitch Henderson say that could have been his third. Just calm him down.
Amir Bell drives right by Badley.
It was goaltend.
That hit the backboard.
No question, goaltend.
And Mitch Henderson is saying the same thing.
Definitely goaltend, I thought.
Badley's off on the 3. And that's the last touch by Amir Bell. Let's go back to that last shot. Should this have been called goaltending?
Amir Bell, great penetrator, gets to the cup, goes in there hard, lays the ball off the backboard. You can't do that. That's a goaltend. Should have been 2 points for the Tigers. Ball's on the glass. You can't. The ball hit the glass. You can't. No. Referee's doing a good job, but he missed that one.
Not reviewable at this point in the game.
No.
Later on, yes. Now, no.
If the national coordinated official who's here, you want to make the right call.
Martin well off on the 3. And Butler is just 1 of 5 from beyond the arc here in this opening half.
They were streaky in their exhibition games.
Great look inside. Nate Fowler off the bench for 2. And a timeout taken by Princeton. Nico Fieldhouse is starting to rattle Princeton. The Bulldogs up 5. Now Keelan Martin not scoring, but he is doing a great job with Butler finding his teammates.
Yeah, here we see now, we're going to see a pick and roll. They're going to come off here. 2 guys going to come with the ball handler. The big guy's going to roll and get a basket. So watch, here we go. Here comes Aaron Thompson. 2 guys, all right, hold it there, hold it right there. Boom, 2 guys come with him. He rolls, all right, they get a basket. 2 guys come with the ball handler. Nice pass inside to Nate Fowler by Keelan Martin. Great execution by the Bulldogs.
Now Pete Keelan Martin, 0 for 3, has not scored tonight. 5 boards and 3 assists for the preseason first team All-Big East big man. Who again, you mentioned he is their leading returning scorer. He does 16 a game.
Tremendous player. He's a big game player. Last year, when Butler beat Indiana, he had 28 points when they beat the Hoosiers last year. Butler. He's a tremendous player, and he's a senior, quiet leader. He leads by hard work, by example.
And remember last year too, Villanova only lost 3 games in conference. Butler had 2 of those wins against the Wildcats.
How about that? That's tremendous. Tremendous. He's a terrific player. He's going to have to play well, though, for them to really go back to the big dance.
Bulldogs lost 3 of their top 5 scorers from last year. They also lost Tyler Lewis and his 4 assists per game. So they got a lot to make up for here in this first year under Laval Jordan. And that's traveling called on Aaron Young. The senior coming off the bench for Mitch Henderson, and you know, he started 2 freshmen tonight. He thought about starting a couple of upperclassmen instead. He said, you know what, I wanted to have my seniors have a calming effect off the bench.
Exactly. Well, once again, he's getting them ready for the Ivy League. He played the iron in the Ivy League.
Martin drives into the paint. Great body control. And the first points of the night for Keelan Martin.
Tremendous player. Jason, when a team is penetrating that much, to get into the lane almost at will, you're going to make an adjustment. Maybe a little zone, pack it in as a change of pace. That's what I would consider. Mitch Henderson's doing a great job, but I mix it up a little bit. I try a little bit of zone.
Princeton 4+ minutes without a field goal. Down by 7.
Amir Bell can drive. He can penetrate. He can go by Keelan Martin. Yeah, go, go, go.
He slips, then he travels.
Yep.
That's the 4th turnover of the opening half for Princeton. Ryan Schwieger, one of the 5 freshmen for Princeton, comes back into the game. And they are excited about this freshman class at Princeton.
Yeah, tremendous freshman class. Much and Rosier and Schwieger, they get some terrific young players.
Sean McDermott, he was scoreless on Friday. His first points of the season.
He's not just a jump shooter. The book on him is he just shoots threes. That time he did a nice job taking to the basket. From Anderson, Indiana, hotbed for high school basketball here in the state.
Many a trips for you recruiting
there.
Oh yeah,
we went down there a lot when I was assistant at Notre Dame, right around the Russian Revolution. You were a little legend there. Now you're all over the place. You're doing hockey, you're doing football, tennis, everything. Westwood 1, Westwood 2, everything. Westwood 3, you're doing it all.
McDermott on the drive again. Just one CBS Sports Network, though.
I know, just one. Just Westwood 1. Howie Deneroff's a wonderful guy, does a great job. And you're one of the big timers there.
Largest lead of the game for Butler. It's a 9-point advantage, and Schwieger has his first career points for Princeton.
Big time shot. They needed that. Stop the bleeding. Got to cut down the penetration of Aaron Thompson.
Out on the switch, the rotation of McDermott badly. He settles for a triple. Princeton needs a bucket badly. They go backdoor to Schwieger, and it's swiped from McDermott. Thompson, right to the rack. And timeout taken by Princeton. Largest lead of the night. Butler has hit its last 6 shots. Jason Horowitz, Pete Gillen, and part of the reason, Pete, is they're getting really good looks at the basket.
Doing a great job. They're penetrating. They get into the paint. Terrific drive that time. That time by McDermott. Nice move again. He's on his style. 2 big hoops, good penetration. Here we see Bagley way downtown, knocked down to 3. On fire. Bulldogs, here we go. Aaron Thompson, nice stop and go. Dribble, nice finish to the cup. Wow. Young freshman boy, he's terrific.
Now, you talked about it at the beginning of the game, Pete, the fact that Butler was not a great three-point shooting team, and they had their struggles in their 2 exhibition games, as well as on Friday night where they were 6 of 25. But they are dominating inside the paint tonight.
Yeah, the penetration right now has been tremendous by the Bulldogs.
Kennedy back into the game. That is Princeton's first miss from beyond the arc. He's got 2 fouls, but they've got to have their leading returning scorer back on the floor.
Good job by Mitch Henderson. You got to have him in there. You don't want to be the richest guy in the graveyard. You want to get your best player in there. I'd like to see Amir Bell drive now. Swing it a little bit, move it side to side, penetrate.
Just like that, right at Fowler.
Nice job, Amir Bell. Terrific off the bounce. You got to play some D. Princeton's a good defensive team. Last year they held their opponent to 41% in the field, only 61 points a game. Team scored against them last year, Jason, as you know. Right now, Butler has 35.
And that is Amir Bell's second foul, so he and Kennedy both have 2. But you said, hey, this is there, you got to go to stop the bleeding, and that's exactly what Princeton just did.
Yep, they got to do that. Here we go, nice penetration by Amir Bell, goes right to the finish. Nice English on the shot. Amir Bell, terrific player. Tell you, last year Miles Stevens got defensive player of the Ivy. He might have been one of the top other defensive players in the league, but they got to show it tonight. Right now, Butler's too many easy baskets in the lane.
And that's something else that Laval Jordan's got to be worried about. Not tonight. That's their first free throw miss tonight. They were 7 of 7. But Butler was 12 of 23 at the free throw line on Friday.
Yeah, they got to do a lot better than that. Sometimes it's lack of concentration. As you know, they had a big lead, so sometimes you lose a little focus with a big lead.
Stevens drives the lane. Count it. No.
Oh, wow.
Offensive foul called on Stevens.
We see that again. That was close. Stevens with nice penetration. Let's see if he's there in time. See if he's there. I say no. It's the block in my mind.
Butler on a 15-6 run to get out to a 35-25 lead. 4 minutes to go here in the opening half. Well, Coach Laval Jordan got the job in June, and he was lucky because this was the year that Butler had a trip scheduled overseas. They went to Madrid, they went to Valencia, Barcelona as well, and really a chance to get to know some of the players that he hadn't recruited when he was at Milwaukee. I wasn't when he was an assistant at Michigan. He said it was very influential to have a better feel for what this team could be, Pete.
Exactly. They had 10 practices before you go on a foreign tour. That helped. But he got to know them. So during the trip, he spent one time at breakfast with one young man, lunch with somebody else, so he had a lot of time bonding. He's a great people person. He does a great job of relationship. He's going to do a fabulous job here with the Bulldogs.
Now, you may remember there was a terrorist attack in Spain in August. That was the week after they were there. Oregon State, some of the other teams, Clemson, were over there during that time. You may remember a lot of that on social media. They were tweeting that they were safe. Butler was there before that happened.
So luckily nobody was hurt in that terrible situation.
Bulldogs have dominated in the paint. Nate Fowler giving them some good minutes with the foul trouble for Weidman. McDermott on the follow. And it's going to stay Butler basketball on the Princeton foul. Now coming up on AT&T at the half, Brent Stover's back at our New York City studios to take a look back at Butler's run to the national title games in 2010 and 2011. Plus, Pete and I will have highlights from right here in Indianapolis. Get you caught up on what else has happened around the country today. All that and more coming up on AT&T at the half. Now they changed that. It was a foul called on Sean McDermott. So that's his first in the 9th on Butler. So still a 1-and-1 coming up for Amir Bell. Good minutes for Sean McDermott, the redshirt sophomore. Now the officials were over at the monitor checking to see who was fouled to make sure who should be in the free throw line, but it is Amir Bell. Right around 70% as a free throw shooter last year, and he hits the first.
It's important that they hang around. It's tough coming back on the road against a very disciplined Butler team.
Tigers coming off their first trip to the NCAA tournament since 2011. Mitch Henderson's team ran through the Ivy League tournament, had to beat Penn at the Palestra in the first ever Ivy League tournament after going 14-0 in the regular season. They came back, they did that, and they took Notre Dame down to the wire in the opening game. The deflection and the turnover for Butler. That is their first turnover of the ball game.
Stevens rushed that. He didn't have complete control of the basketball on that one.
Morales into the game for Princeton. McDermott on the drive again.
It's too easy. Got to get some help on that. Let's swing the ball side to side and drive the basketball.
Instead, it's Bell pulling up for the jumper at the free throw line. Amir Bell starting to take over Princeton's offense.
Amir Bell has a terrific mid-range game. Very, very talented. Score, can really get in the lane.
A lot lot of dribbling. Regains control, and Keelan Martin has his second bucket of the first half. 39-29 on the half, where the Bulldogs have shot 56%. Princeton shot 59%.
Princeton's doing a good job offensively. Defensively, though, having trouble stopping the Bulldogs.
Stevens takes it with the left hand right at Keelan Martin. And again, Butler's got foul trouble, and so Martin has to stay on the floor. Bulldogs take their timeout and will step aside with them. Last year, first round of the tournament, Notre Dame missing the free throw on the 1-and-1. Matt Farrell missed it. Devin Kennedy had a good look at the three, but it was too deep. His shot was deep, and they'd never get another look.
Exactly. The foul and one free throw by Notre Dame. A great effort, 2-point loss, but they could have won the game. Amir Bell maybe could have penetrated and got fouled, but a great effort. A tremendous program for the Princeton Tigers, and they play tough people, so they're going to be ready. They picked third in the league, but they're a very good team.
And that loss snapped a 19-game winning streak, which they had heading into that game with the Irish.
The 1-3-1 half-court trap by Princeton. They're doing that now to try to get Butler out of their offense. Great job by Steele.
Can they get an easy bucket? Stevens backs his way in, and he's whistled for the offensive foul. That's his second foul.
Stevens moving around. Thompson a little bit. That was acting. That was Broadway. Broadway. Look at him. He's looking at penetration. Thompson. Got to get him an Emmy. Hey, nice job by the young fella. He's only a freshman.
So 2 fouls on Stevens. 2 fouls on Amir Bell. 2 fouls on Devin Kennedy. That's their big 3.
Yep. Yes. No.
And they are all on the bench right now.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Amir Bell is still on the floor. Thompson the floater. Double figures in the opening half for the freshman out of Maryland. Inside of a minute, Butler leads by 10. The freshman Much put it on the floor, and he lost it out of bounds. Now, Princeton last year turned it over just 9.5 times a game, which was 5th best in the country. But in this opening half, Mitch Henderson's team has given it away 8 times. McDermott back out to Thompson, and 15 on the shot clock. Martin working on Bell, who's got 2 fouls. Double comes, leaves it for Badley, and it's blocked away by Bell. Shot clock turned off, and Princeton can hold for the final shot of the first half. Bell one-on-one with Badley, drives, fouled, and Amir Bell will go to the free throw line with 5.9 remaining here in the first half.
At the line for Princeton, number 5, Amir Bell, he'll have 2.
So Amir Bell back to the free throw line. 9 points for Bell, who has played every minute here in the first half. He and Keelan Martin, the only 2 who have done that, and Bell way short.
Bell's doing a great job penetrating, trying to keep the Tigers within distance.
So foul trouble, a story here in the first half. Richmond Iriguzo back in for Sebastian Much, true freshman from California, who has played a few minutes. He did start tonight. Missed them both. Final 4 seconds of the first half. Jorgensen for 3 at the buzzer, and it's short. But Butler shooting 55% from the floor in the opening half. and forcing 8 turnovers will go to the locker room up by 10 at the break. Laval Jordan in his second game leading the Bulldogs. He is with Pete.
Thank you, Jason. You have 28 points in the paint first half, Laval. How important is that for you guys to get into the rim?
Well, it's definitely an emphasis for us, Pete. You know, they have some young guys in the lineup in the interior, so we want to attack the paint with the post and with the drive. I thought we had a good mix to it.
All right, you got 10 points off turnovers. How important is that for you to be successful, your defense?
Against these guys, it's really good. You know, they're so precise with what they do. You have to get them, pressure them without fouling. We're fouling a little too much right now, but we got to keep some pressure on them and so they're not comfortable.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck the second half.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Pete.
Jason, back to you, buddy.
10 fouls there in the first half, but they are up by 10. Coming back, we'll go back to our studios in New York for AT&T at the half with Frank Stover. You're watching college basketball on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Indiana State Capital, Indianapolis, and a 10-point lead for Butler as we're getting set for the start of the second half. Jason Horowitz, Pete Gillen, happy to have you with us. Hey, Tuesday night at 8 Eastern, the women of We Need to Talk. Going to be joined by New Orleans Saints head coach Sean Payton, bring you compelling conversations, unparalleled perspectives on everything that's happening in the world of sports. It's all right here on CBS Sports Network. And the Saints blew out the Bills today. They've won 7 in a row. I guess Sean Payton will be happy on We Need to Talk.
He'll be happy. He'll do a great job. He'll lighten it up, so it'll be fun.
All right, he's maybe got a player of the year in Drew Brees. How about your college players to watch this year, Pete Gillen?
Great young players to watch, some veterans. DeAndre Ayton from Arizona, maybe get Sean Miller to the Final Four for the first time. Miles Bridges, my pick for player of the year. Angel Delgado, the best rebounder in the country last year with 13 boards a game for Seton Hall. And Michael Porter Jr. from Missouri, a tremendous freshman. So those are some great players to watch.
And he only played 2 minutes on Friday night. Porter Jr. had an injury. They blew out Iowa State in Columbia, but he only played 2 minutes, and they still were that good.
Exactly.
In Konzo Martin's first year leading the Tigers in the SEC. All right, one of the stories that we're going to be paying attention to here early in the second half, 3 starters for both teams had 2 fouls, and fairly early in the first 10-11 minutes of that first half. How long can those guys go without picking up fouls 3 and 4?
Well, once again, they got to be smart. Each coach knows his players. Some guys, Jason, can play with foul trouble. Other guys are not. They're too aggressive. They're too anxious. So we'll see what happens. And sometimes you might have to play a little zone to protect your players or take them in and out. But I think the big key, first 3 or 4 minutes of the second half is key for Princeton, that they can close the gap. But you don't want it to go the other way.
This was a 1-point game with about 8 minutes to go in the opening half. Butler started to race down the stretch in the first half. How did the Bulldogs do it? How did they start pulling away for Princeton?
Well, they did a good job at fast break. They scored before the Princeton defense was completely set. And when they moved the defense real well and they penetrated, great penetration. So I'm sure we've got 2 tremendous coaches. Both coaches will make adjustments and see what happens.
So start of the second half inside Hinkle Fieldhouse. And already that's a foul immediately on Keelan Martin. That's his second. And that was what Laval Jordan said to you walking into the locker room. What do we need to do differently? Foul less.
Yeah, exactly.
Took 7 seconds.
No question. If I'm Princeton, I would consider going at Keelan Martin. He's their catalyst. He's their best player. First team, preseason All-Big East. Try to get him in foul trouble.
Baldwin's back on the floor for Butler. He only played 6 minutes in the first half with his 2 fouls. Weidman only played 8 minutes with his 2 fouls. They're working at Martin, just like you said, but Stevens left it short. That's a 3, McDermott. And DeRosier with the rebound. He didn't have a big impact in the first half, the freshman from Quebec. Neither did Sebastian much. Both freshmen are back on the floor with this opening starting 5.
DeRosier played for Northfield Mount Hermon in Massachusetts. John Carroll's a fabulous coach there. They've had a wonderful tradition. They sent a lot of players to the Ivy League. Great program, great coach, John Carroll.
Kennedy knocks in the 3. Well, you talked about they need to get more shots. They need Devin Kennedy to get going at the half, and that's exactly what starts.
Yeah, tremendous three-point shooter. He's their go-to guy. He's got the courage to take the big shot. He's going to have to step up big time. Second half, the Tigers are going to pull this upset.
Baldwin drives the lane. DeRosier lets him go, and Kamar Baldwin's got two. That bucket for Kennedy on the last possession was his first since the 18-minute mark. Martin keeps it, pops, gets the equal bounce.
Nice rim. Great country, this America. Nice soft rims.
All-around game for Keelan Martin. His scoring has him in there, but he has 6 rebounds. He's got 3 assists. And Tyler Wideman's got the steal. And Tyler Wideman's got an and 1.
Tyler Wideman scores it, and there's a foul. On the Tigers, 33, Sebastian.
Here we see now, ball at the top of the key, a senior, Wideman against a freshman, Much. Nice steal, attacks the basket, don't foul. Much fouled, so once again, experience against a young player, very good player from California, but once again, it's a big adjustment going from high school basketball to big-time college basketball.
Now, Tyler Wideman is a ball of energy. He's the guy that lets it just kind of all go out on the court and converts the three-point play. He's got 10. He is the second Bulldog in double figures here tonight.
He's a tremendous player. Each year he's gotten better and better. And it's a big key this year for them to get some inside scoring. But he's a tough, hard-nosed guy. I like Tyler Wideman a lot. Good matchup. Kamar Baldwin against Kennedy.
Morales leaves it to Stevens. Great look from Morales down to Stevens. And you said they've got to get it inside. They settle for threes, got to work it inside a little bit, and they did right there. Baldwin, the step-back jumper. Amir Bell clears the glass for Princeton. Down by 12 with 17 minutes to go in the game. Stevens sets the screen. Bounce pass from Bell, and Wideman is a big load. And too much, so he picks up his 3rd foul. Princeton's known for the pick and roll, Pete.
Here we see a nice pick here by Stevens. Man's going to come off. He's going to roll to the basket. Nice roll. Throws the ball up high. They both came onto the ball handler. Stevens with a nice finish inside. Pick and roll. Good execution by the Tigers.
And Jose Morales, sophomore, got a couple of minutes in the first half. They're looking for somebody to settle him down, and Keelan Martin just picked up his 3rd foul. And already that is 4 fouls on Butler, 3 minutes and 10 seconds into the second half.
Nice penetration. Yep. You can't extend that elbow. He put the left arm out. Good call. Yep. Good call. Keelan Martin's going to the bench now. 3 fouls. Once again, he's so aggressive that, and you know, LaVelle Martin knows his player. Okay, LaVelle Jordan knows his player, so he doesn't want to lose preseason. First team player of the year in the Big East.
Now Butler had some good minutes in the first half as Tony Chiazza goes over and makes sure everything's fine. They had some good minutes in the first half with Wideman on the bench, but Keelan Martin played every minute of the first half. Now let's see if Princeton can take advantage of their 2 best big men on the bench. They go right at the glass, and it's last touched by Badley. It'll stay with Princeton.
Yeah, Amir Bell, tremendous penetrator, just couldn't finish at the rim.
And now they change the call. Ron Gruber came in and said, hey, wait a minute, I saw it the other way, and it is Butler basketball.
You see Bell goes in there.
And they got it right.
Got it right. I think Stevens hit it out.
Morales whistled for the foul. That is the 2nd on Princeton, the 1st on Morales.
Both teams are really attacking the basket, putting it on the ground. Once again, freedom of movement. It's a big emphasis once again this year. Rule 10-1-4. You got to let the guy go. You can't have your hands on him.
And another foul on Princeton. Rebounding, freedom, making sure you're not grabbing people on the rebounds. That was an emphasis last year. J.D. Collins, the head of officiating, is right here in this building. And again, that is an emphasis this year, not to have the grabbing and the pulling on the rebounding.
Yeah, they want to reduce physicality in the low post and on rebounding, as you say, Jason.
So Brennan was whistled for his second. And LeBlanc came back in. And Morales now whistled for his second. And just like that, Princeton has 4 fouls here in the second half as well.
Could be a free throw contest in the last 8 minutes of the game.
Jorgensen and Baldwin with McDermott and Badley, as well as Fowler for Butler. Weidman and Martin on the bench with 3 fouls, and Aaron Thompson, who had 10 in the first half off the bench, still over there in the second half. Baldwin, the penetration.
Jason, when teams penetrate so much, and both these teams, as you know, are doing a great job penetrating, you got to do something different. Either switch a lot or play some zone. I would consider some 1-2-2 zone, pack it in, make them shoot over you.
See if LeBlanc can settle them down. The senior, he's fouled up top by Nate Fowler. And that'll take us to a break. Now, Kamar Baldwin didn't get a whole bunch of time in the first half, but Kamar Baldwin taking advantage of it here early in the second half. Good move on the sophomore. And Butler, its biggest lead of the night. Butler up by 14, 50-36, 15:41 to go here at Hinkle. Well, the road to the Final Four continues tomorrow. And Greg Marshall's 7th-ranked Shockers. Wichita State hit the hardwood. Host College of Charleston at 9 Eastern. It's right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. And Wichita State this year, now in the American Athletic Conference, highest preseason ranking, or highest rank to start the season since 1981. And, you know, 6 straight tournament appearances. Lost to Kentucky last year, but this is a very good basketball team.
A great team, Jason. Top 10, as you mentioned. Greg Marshall one day might be in the Hall of Fame. Landry Shamet, one of the best guards in the country, and Marcus McDuffie, who's been hurt from St. Anthony High School in Jersey City, plays for them. So a great team.
Charleston is no slouch, by the way, either.
No question.
They were 1 game short of winning the Colonial Athletic Association last year, and they bring back their top 6 players. Miles Stevens out of the timeout at 2 for Princeton.
Nice job attacking the basket.
And Amir Bell whistled for his 3rd foul. How about, Pete, your sleeper teams this year?
Well, these are mid-major sleeper teams. Bucknell, once again, they can do, I think, what Princeton can do. Princeton was 14-0 in conference play. Bucknell, Charleston, Nevada, and Vermont are 4 teams that could make a great run similar to Princeton, all right, and dominate their conference. Those are my sleeper teams that could maybe run the table. Only 2 teams ran the table last year in the conference. People stick around, we'll tell them who the other one was besides Princeton. All right, no Google, can't Google, it's cheating.
And remember, Charleston tomorrow against Wichita State right here on CBS Sports Network. Big challenge for both teams. Carrying the basketball.
Yep. It's going to be a great game. Bob Wenzel's on the call, certainly with Brent Stover, so we've got a big-time crew. Watch the game. If you love college basketball, you'll enjoy watching the Shockers against Charleston.
Big moment of the game here for Princeton. 5 minutes gone by in the second half. Been trying to chip away at a lead that's been around here the better part of the last 10-15 minutes. And that is back-to-back drives for Miles Stevens, who's got 14 to lead all scorers.
Yep. Both teams are living in the paint.
Fowler kicks it out to Jorgensen. Extra pass to Badley. And Kennedy has the rebound. Remember, Butler playing with Weidman and Martin both on the bench with 3 fouls.
With their top players, 2 seniors, through all the wars, all the battles. Here comes that man again, Aaron Thompson.
Yeah, he'll check in at the next whistle. Stevens hit on the drive, wave off the basket. McDermott the foul. But they found something that has worked here in the second half, and it's Miles Stevens.
He's doing a nice job swinging the ball. Stevens just putting his head down, attacking the basket. Excellent execution by the Tigers. Move the defense, Jason, go side to side, put it down, and go to the cup.
Martin back into the game. Val Jordan's had enough of seeing Stevens get into the paint.
I'm Prince. I'm going right at Keelan Martin. Attack him. Try to get their top player out of the game with 4 fouls.
Bell goes at McDermott. Lays it in on the reverse side.
Once again, a lot of penetration. You got to make an adjustment. I would play some zone. Both teams. Just a cup of coffee. No time for the cream. See if they adjust.
Right off the bench. Aaron Thompson right back to work.
Taking 2-foot shots. How many shots past that?
There are a lot of good freshmen in the Big East this year. Amari Spellman at Villanova's preseason freshman of the year, but I'm a big fan of that kid. Morales on the drive. And that is on Fowler, his 3rd, and so Morales will go to the free throw line. Again, both these teams are working the paint, Pete.
A great job attacking the rim. Here we see Miles Stevens backing his man in, onto the basket. Nice finish over there. Here we go. Aaron Thompson with the crossover. It's deep. 4-foot shot, so both teams' penetration has been spectacular.
He's a very impressive freshman for Laval Jordan.
Yeah, I love him, boy. He's got to be one of the top freshmen in the Big East. How about the job Val Ackerman, the commission, has done? Right? 7 teams went to the NCAA tournament last year. 70%. Right? This year, I think they're going to get a chance to get a bunch again. I don't know if they'll get 7, but they'll get a bunch again. So this league has been reconfigured in only 4 years, but tremendous job. They won a national championship. They did a fabulous job.
And again, battles under the board and a foul on Princeton. These are the most, remember, the ACC's got 15 teams, so that was 9 of 15, which is 60%.
Wow, you're good in math. I'm not. I'm glad you
I worked on that, but the only 3 from the conference that didn't make it, St. John's, DePaul, and Georgetown. Hoy is making the change. Patrick Ewing, the new head coach, he won his debut today. St. John's with Chris Mullen now in his 3rd year, a team on the rise.
No question. The Johnnies are back. Very talented. They're going to be much better this year.
Our producer Joel Kate saw them on Friday with a win against New Orleans.
Yep, Joel's a great American. He knows talent. Joel likes the Johnnies, so if you like basketball, follow those Johnnies. But how about 7 out of 10, 70%, as you say? That's the best in the country. So the ACC has done a fabulous job, especially the Big East done a fabulous job the last 4 years.
Well, Pete, speaking of the number 7,
yes,
we haven't played 7 minutes in the second half. Butler has 7 fouls. Wow. So Princeton will shoot free throws the rest of the ballgame. Well, now, that being said, Princeton has 6 fouls. So Butler will shoot free throws the rest of the game.
Yep, it's going to be a long second half. Yeah, you better pack a lunch, get a cappuccino.
You don't have a late flight tonight, do you?
No, I'm walking home. I'm like low budget guy.
Miles Stevens good on both. Princeton trailed by 14 here in the second half. They have cut it to 6, and Stevens has 16. Martin swiped, gets it back and puts it in. Stevens from outside. He can't miss.
He's hitting that. He's really tough to guard for sure. Mainly a penetrator, but he can knock down the threes. Worked hard on that during the summer.
And Morales the steal. Can he take it coast to coast? Swiped. Baldwin, they got back for the block. Thompson on the other end. And the pace is picked up here at Hinkle. Kennedy, no call. Baldwin on the drive. And they can't stop Baldwin here in the second half. He's got 8. And the lead back to 7. And Princeton takes its second to last timeout. And that'll send us to a break. The action is picked up here in the second half, and Miles Stevens has been a catalyst, but Kamar Baldwin on both ends of the floor for Butler.
Doing a great job defensively, does everything for the team. Open court, and we see nice penetration by Kamar Baldwin. Got a great game here in Indianapolis.
Now Butler, in its 5th year as a member of the Big East, has a 7-point lead on Princeton with 11:21 to go. The second half as the Tigers have cut this deficit in half. And, well, in his second year on Princeton staff, that is Kerry Kittles. Now, a lot has changed since he was the 1995 Big East Player of the Year for our pal Steve Lapis at Villanova. But this is just his second year as a coach. Villanova's all-time leading scorer. Pete, we had a chance to talk to him before the game, and I said, what were you doing before, finishing your career as an NBA player and coaching? And he said, I was home taking care of 5 kids.
Busy, that's a handful. But he's a class guy, he's a great player. When I was at Xavier University, we played Villanova. He was a handful. Great player, class guy. A great addition, certainly, to the Princeton program.
He asked me, as Tripp looks on here at Butler, he said, how many kids do you have? I said, well, I have 2. My second is about to be 9 months old. He said, that's a great number. I said, well, if that's a great number, why do you have 5? He said, we were trying for a boy. He does have a son. It is the 5th of his 5, and he is now 5 years old.
That's great. That's wonderful.
Now that timeout was taken by Princeton. The next stop, we will have another timeout.
I like it. Butler goes to a 3-2 zone. They're packing it in. They're doing this because of the great penetration by Princeton.
Bell had the shot clock winding down and had to fire it up. Weidman and Martin are both back on the floor for Butler with their 3 fouls. Jorgensen out to Martin, takes the 3.
Whatever they need, he gives it to them. Stay in the 3-2 zone, they're packing it in. The weakness is the baseline and the high post.
Bell with the answer. Bell and Stevens with 33 for Princeton. DeRosier cut off Martin. Jorgensen on the drive. 8 on the shot clock for the junior. Martin checked out the senior and he lost it. Morales nowhere to go, and he threw it away. He got lost in traffic.
Lately he has been raining 3s. Penetration. Keelan Martin from way downtown got it. The Princeton's got an answer. They push it in, penetrate, back to be a Bell, bang. Terrific game here in Indy. Stick with us.
This game has gotten good with 9:51 to go. Butler leading by 7. Jason Horowitz, Pete Gillen, happy to be with you. The ultimate test of fitness continues Monday night at 7 Eastern when CrossFit's top athletes put their bodies through a true test of strength and endurance. Sue will be named the fittest woman on earth right here on CBS Sports Network. Now, Butler was picked 8th in the Big East preseason poll. Remember, they finished 12-6 in conference last year, 2nd behind Villanova. And Pete, you think they're going to finish much higher than 8th?
No question about it. I don't know where they'll finish, but they're not going to be 8th. They're going to be better than that. As you mentioned last year, they picked them 6th. They wind up 2nd. Especially if Keelan Martin, first team preseason, all Big East play, keep playing like that. And how about Aaron Thompson, that point guard? Kamar Baldwin, they're better than 8th in my opinion.
Well, and we're going to learn a lot about Butler. They always play a great non-conference schedule, but they've got Maryland coming up in the Gavitt tip-off games coming up this week. They'll play Texas out in the Phil Knight Invitational, which is 16 teams out in Portland. They'll start with Texas, could play Duke. You know, Oklahoma's on their side. So they're going to get 3 great games out there.
Yep. They'll be battle tested for sure. Some of these young guys.
Purdue's on the schedule.
Yep, got a tough schedule. I'll tell you, got to like the tenacity of Princeton, though, Jason. Right, they're hanging in there. Down 12. Gonna cut it to 7 with a chance to get lower.
Closest they've been in the second half is 5.
You got to keep moving. Move it, swing it side to side, and drive the ball. That's the formula for Princeton. Swing it and drive it.
That's 9 on the shot clock. Mirabel, foot on the line, but he hits it 2. So again, they're back within 5.
As I said, shoot the jump shot. Right down on fire. They get the ball to their preseason All Big East player, Keelan Martin. Let him go to work.
Jorgensen for 3. And Stevens ripped it out of the air. Three-pointer has been a big difference tonight. Princeton is 7 of 10. Butler is 3 of 11 from beyond the arc.
The giant possession for both teams right now. Can they cut it under 5 to 1 possession game?
Stevens has 19. He's got weight on Baldwin. The fadeaway, and it's short. Keelan Martin pulls down his 9th rebound. And that foul's called on Princeton. Let's go back to Amir Bell. Pete, was his foot? He was just whistled for his 4th foul. Go back to the shot. Was his foot on the line? Oh, absolutely.
Yep. 2 points, not a 3.
Now, Amir Bell also just picked up his 4th foul. And that is Dan Jarvis, the trainer for Princeton, who will take a look.
Into the Tigers number 4, Mike LeBlanc. So 1-1 for Keelan.
Mike LeBlanc comes back in. Take a look at this injury.
Yep. Ooh. Yep. Like Keelan Martin came down with his back of his head, hit him in the shin or the calf. Can't tell for sure what it was. But he's okay.
It looks like they're looking at his left knee.
Yeah.
Martin's got 13 points to go with 9 rebounds and 3 assists. Amir Bell has been pretty much half the offense, 16 points tonight. He and Miles Stevens have combined for 35.
Kennedy's got to step up now.
And drills the 3 right on cue.
Young man from Mishawaka, Indiana. Terrific player. He's the gym rat on their teams. First guy at practice all the time. Really loves to play.
Martin pulls back for 3. Again gets the Hinkle house roll.
He's got that down. Hit the rim, hit the top of the backboard, roll in. Great players get good rolls.
And Tyler Weidman just picked up his 4th foul.
Right now it's raining 3s here in Indianapolis. Kennedy, step back, way downtown, got it. Butler's got an answer. Keelan Martin from way out, off the bounce, hit the rim, up and away. Oh, she loved being home. Breakfast in bed, Eggs Benedict. I'll take it.
Near sellout here tonight at Hinkle Fieldhouse. Princeton led early. Butler has led pretty much the rest of the way. But we got a good one with 7:28 to go. Princeton has used the 3 to get back in it. Now Amir Bell still on the sideline. He's got 4 fouls. He also hurt his knee. Butler's got some foul trouble with Tyler Weidman and Keelan Martin as well. But you know what, Pete? As fouls have been a story throughout the course of the game, we've only had 25 combined free throw attempts, so it's not like that has been an enormous factor tonight.
No, exactly. But A lot of fouls. I think the referees are doing an excellent job, and the players are attacking the basket. And once again, we talked about freedom of movement. You can't be holding or grabbing. They're getting a lot of fouls. And sometimes you're afraid to foul and get into the rim for layups.
That's Mike LeBlanc, the senior from New Hampshire, hitting a couple of big free throws. His first 2 points of the night.
Yep. He's a tremendous shooter. He just hasn't been able to play a lot because he's got talented guys in front of him.
Great look inside to Martin. Aaron Thompson on the dish.
Great execution out of the timeout by Butler.
Martin leading the Bulldogs with 18 points tonight after leading the way with 20 against Kennesaw State. Remember, this is the Bulldogs' second game. It's Princeton's opening night.
Get the ball to Stevens.
Kennedy drills another three. He's got 4 triples and 12 points.
He's got the courage, got the heart of a lion, that young man. He wants to be the go-to guy. He'll take the big shot, he'll make the big shot.
Princeton is 9 of 12 from beyond the arc tonight. Thompson to Fowler, easy deuce. Aaron Thompson to go with his 12 points. Got a couple of assists here in the last 2 possessions.
He's got to be one of the top 5 incoming freshmen of the Big East, Jason, in my opinion. I haven't seen everybody, but he's terrific.
Stevens has the weight advantage on Baldwin, and he's going to the line to shoot a 3-point play.
Got it. Miles Stevens scores it, and the foul on the Bulldogs 3. Kamar Baldwin.
21 for Miles Stevens, and a chance to get Princeton within a possession.
Here he's got big. Kamar Baldwin's only 6'1", going against 6'5", and about a 25, 30-pound difference. Great execution by the Tigers. Third foul for Kamar Baldwin.
And he'll go take a seat. Jorgensen will come back in, the transfer from George Washington, and he looks like he's limping a little bit too.
Yep. This was a physical game. You get the ball to Keelan Martin, your top player, or a penetration by Aaron Thompson.
They asked Thompson to score in the first half, and he drives here on the second. They wave it off. Ron Groover, the official here on the near sideline, waved it off. That is on Morales. That is his third. And so a 1-and-1. It's the 8th foul on Princeton.
Nice penetration by Aaron Thompson. Lavelle Jordan tried to politic for that basket, but NBA, yes, but not this time, not in college.
Amir Bell back into the game.
Great news for the Tigers. Hopefully he's okay. Stay in there.
Again, though, he's got 4 fouls with 5:44 to go. Thompson earns the second. Well, that was one of your keys to success for the season. Kamar Baldwin, could he make the transition to point as he's coming back into this game for Jorgensen? Tell you what, if Aaron Thompson develops the way that they want him to, Pete, as a point guard, he might not have to become the point guard.
Exactly right. I mean, Aaron Thompson is a pure point guard. Kamar Baldwin is a 2 guard that's learning to become a point guard. So I agree. I think for the future, pretty soon, Aaron Thompson would be my point guard. Give him the ball. It's his world. We're just passing through it. He's tremendous.
And they've got Jorgensen has shown the first couple of games he's a valuable player to this Butler team as well.
Yep. And you have like 2 point guards. Kamar Baldwin can play point. All right, but mainly have the ball in Aaron Thompson's hand.
Baldwin drives the bucket.
Bell had 4 fouls, so he had to let him go. Every time Butler closed the gap, every time Princeton closed the gap, Butler made a big play.
Stevens, the reverse lay-in. Now they needed that to go. Inside of 5 minutes to go. It's Martin for 3. That's the drive from Bell, and Fowler with his 4th foul. Let's go back to Kamar Baldwin on the steal, and the breakaway for Butler, which almost unhinged Hinkle Fieldhouse.
Great penetration, threw it down. It's on the all-rookie team last year in the Big East. Kamar Baldwin was a special player for Windsor, Georgia.
Now, Amir Bell's got 17. Pete, go back to what you said that Butler has to do for the season. Not for tonight, but this is the season, and that is Kamar Baldwin.
Yep, make the transition to point guard. He can play 2 point guards. Aaron Thompson and him. Tyler Wyman score inside, and Keelan Martin play like a first-team preseason All-Big East play. He is tonight, my estimation.
Now, Baldwin's in double figures. He's one of 4 Bulldogs with at least 10 points tonight.
Yep, good balance for the Bulldogs. 1-3-1. Half-court zone, change of pace because get the ball inside so deep. So Princeton trying to keep him outside with the zone.
Thompson on the drive, and an offensive foul. LaVall Jordan not happy about it, but the Thompson called on the charge.
I think it's a good call. I think he was in. Kennedy was there. He's outside the restricted line. He's there. He got good part of his body. I say good call that time by the officials.
Well, he's definitely outside the restricted area. Whether or not he was moving, maybe a different story. But Princeton's been trying to get this to 1 possession for a long time. And LeBlanc maybe rushed the 3. Approaching 4 minutes to go in the ball game. Butler's up by 6.
Great matchup. Miles Stevens against Keelan Martin. Great defender against a great offensive player.
Martin on the bounce, pulls up for 3. And that is the freshman Schwieger going up for the rebound.
And which he's good at. Butler, you want to see man-to-man. You don't need to play against the zone. Just keep penetrating, swing the ball, drive it. Amir Bell's not going to guard you. I drive the ball now by McDermott.
Good help defense, but McDermott, the patience, foul blocked! But Kennedy called for goaltending.
Good call by the official. His goaltender, I think the ball's on the way down.
Don't tell anybody it's just the opening weekend. The effort by Princeton and Butler, enormous as we've hit the final countdown here in Indianapolis. Butler leading Princeton by 6. Now, there was a missed goaltending in the first half, but Pete, I think they got this one right.
Yep, I think so, yeah, no question. It was on his way down. Yep. Kennedy, how about his hops? 6-1. Yeah, good call by the officials.
3:06 to go. Remember, Amir Bell playing with 4 fouls for Princeton. He's had 18 points tonight. Tyler Weidman, who's only played 15 minutes, but he's been very productive with his 15 minutes, but he hasn't been able to stay on the floor. And again, Pete, we knew coming into this game that for Princeton in its first one tonight, they were going to have a tough test. They thought they'd be able to be in this game, and Miles Stevens with his 21 has been enormous to bring them back from a 14-point deficit.
Did a great job playing good defense, knocking them down from 3-point land, penetrating, coming off the pick and roll, doing a fabulous job. Last year, first team, preseason, postseason, all Ivy, terrific player, and he's really stepping up big time for the Tigers tonight.
And their 3 returning best players, Stevens, Kennedy, and Amir Bell, have combined for 51. But Bell rushed it.
Not a good shot. Poor decision, I thought, on that one. Butler, take your time, swing it, get the ball inside or drive it. You don't need a jump shot unless you're wide open.
Baldwin, Thompson, and Jorgensen on the floor together for Butler. That's Baldwin for 3!
Big time shot for the sophomore.
He had 2 in the first half. He's got 11 here in the second. The lead's back to 9. Kennedy trying the answer. It rolls out.
Take your time now, Butler. Clock is your best friend. You're up 3 possessions now. Be patient. You wait till it go down about 10, 11 seconds and get the ball to your best player, Keelan Martin.
Inside of 10 on the shot clock. Thompson turns the corner. He does get it to Martin. Gets in the paint. Forces it up and gets it in. Back-to-back 20-point games for Martin to start the season. And a double-double here tonight.
Great possession for the Bulldogs. Ran the clock down almost to the end. They got a shot in the paint by Keelan Martin, their fabulous senior.
Now that was off of the miss, Pete, for Baldwin, and then Keelan Martin.
Right there, Keelan Martin, the last play. Boom, nice shot fake. 2 big-time shots by 2 fabulous players for the Bulldogs.
In for Princeton, 2, Jose Morales. In for your Bulldogs, 22.
Thompson goes to the bench. So, Pete, down 10 with 1:35 to go and only 1 timeout. At what point of your Princeton do you start fouling?
I go right away. I trap here. If they get it over half court, I just give a foul. You got to take a chance. Try to. If they get 1 or 2, hopefully they miss 1. You got to come down and try to make some threes. Not enough time now. 3-possession game. I trap them now and foul. If they run another 20 seconds off, it'd be tough to come back and win down 9 points.
No, it doesn't look like they're planning to foul. Weidman on the dump down. And that's called on Schwieger. And maybe not a bad foul because Weidman's just a 65% free throw shooter, at least he was last year.
Nice penetration. Defense comes on Baldwin. Weidman, the big fella, gets fouled.
Weidman tonight, 2 for 2. This is the first. So 20 seconds did come off the clock. But instead of giving the easy 2 for the big body for Butler, at least Princeton will save with 1 point if he makes this.
Yep. And you look, try to shoot some threes if you can.
Remember, Princeton just 1 timeout left with 75 seconds to go.
Gotta go in a hurry.
Kennedy. Thompson, and that's the foul. Now, a couple of bad possessions down the stretch here for Princeton, and Butler now up by double figures.
Exactly. Bell took a bad shot, and Kennedy forced that one. You said 2 bad possessions now. Bell trying to get fouled there. Kennedy in traffic. Good defense by Aaron Thompson. And he committed a foul. It's a good foul. You got to stop the clock. 1:05 to go.
Now, free throws were a problem on Friday night.
Yeah.
Butler was 12 of 23 against Kennesaw State. That has not been an issue.
Yeah.
Tonight, they had hit 13 of their first 14, although they have missed 2 of their last 3 at the line. It's the second.
Congratulations, fans. The Bulldogs have it 80 points, and now Penn Station will treat you to their signature fresh squeeze lemonade. 1 minute to go.
Bell drives the bucket, the kick out to Schwieger.
They're trying to get a 3. Good to Tigers. Penetrate kick.
Schwieger is fouled by Weidman, and he is fouled out. With 52 seconds to go. He'll make the freshman from Matthews, North Carolina, earn it at the free throw line.
Nice penetration. Dump down. Schwieger takes it to basket strong. 2 free throws for the freshman.
And Tyler Weidman fouls out with 11 points tonight. And a standing ovation here at Hinkle for the senior.
He's a terrific player. Physical, gives him toughness, aggressiveness, scoring inside. Terrific player for the Bulldogs. Make these 2, then you got to get into your full court press now if you're the Tigers. That'll be a 1-2-1-1 zone press.
Pete, what have you learned tonight about Princeton coming off the tournament last year?
Very impressive, I think. Tough environment, almost a sellout crowd, as you mentioned before. They came back, they showed a lot of character. They're going to be a handful in the Ivy League.
Schwieger missed them both. But Bell gets the steal. Martin, not a good foul, and a chance for Morales at a 3-point play.
Want to stop the clock. They can make the shot and get it in quickly.
Jose Morales the basket, and he'll have one shot.
I think Butler's going to have a very fine season also, Jason. Especially when the young guys get better. And Aaron Thompson's going to get better and better, and some of the other young guys.
Morales completes the three-point play. Just an 8-point game with 42 seconds to go. Princeton has to foul, and they foul Kamar Baldwin.
Right. 3-possession game. Got to foul.
Well, this has been a pretty efficient offensive game. Princeton has shot 56% from the floor. Butler has shot 55% from the floor. And 14 of 17 at the free throw line.
Yeah, no question. Both teams, I mean, Princeton shooting so well, they're still down 9 points. So both teams really got to the rim. Did a great job with dribble penetration.
Hits them both. Baldwin's got 13 second half points and 15 overall. Princeton's got to go fast. Bell and Schwieger down to 30 seconds. Bell drives it at the rim and gets 2. And Coach Henderson takes Princeton's final timeout of the night. Still an 8-point game, but Princeton's done a lot of their damage from beyond the arc. But Butler tonight, 50 points in the paint.
That's unbelievable. They got to the rim, penetration. Keelan Martin, the senior, dumps it down to Weidman with the finish. And Aaron Thompson, we see here, nice pass inside, big shot. Fowler, the nice execution over the screen. Keelan Martin spinning, he wheels, he deals. It's right to the rim. Tremendous penetration. 50 points in the paint is unbelievable, Jason.
Remember, they lost Andrew Travis from last year's team. He was also a great passer as a big man as well, but he's gone. Some guards with Avery Woodson, Tyler Lewis, Keaton Savage. But the interior is maybe the strength of this year's Butler team with Martin and Weidman.
Exactly. Weidman's getting better and better. Each year he improves. Keelan Martin's a fabulous player. I like what McDermott did, attacking the basket. I think Paul Jorgensen's going to be a good player to transfer from George Washington. So this Butler team is going to get better and better.
All right, 29 seconds to go. Princeton's out of timeouts. It's an 8-point game, and the shot clock's turned off. So obviously you have to go for the steal and foul. How much time can you let go trying to go for the steal?
Right away. If they get out of the trap, you got to foul right away. Once again, it's 3 possessions. You got to get the ball 3 times to come back, and 2 threes and a 2. So full court press, trap the first pass. If they get out of the trap, you got to give a foul. Try to foul if you can. A Jorgensen or a McDermott, one of the players that don't touch the ball or foul if they get it to the big guy. I wouldn't foul Kamar Baldwin. All right. Now you got to foul. Got to give one. Got to give one. Give one.
Well, now they get it into the front court. 9 seconds have come off the clock.
Too much time. Keep the ball in the air if you're Butler.
Well, Princeton down 8 with 30 seconds to go.
Probably chose not to foul. Yeah, they chose not to foul, I guess. I don't know. 11 seconds. Yeah, I thought they should have fouled. I don't know if they intended not to or whatever, but you got to foul. I mean, you're down 3 possessions, 8 points.
Maybe miscommunication.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. I'm sure Coach told him foul earlier. Henderson's a tremendous coach, but maybe it didn't sink in.
Now Morales fouls out for Princeton. He gave him 17 good minutes tonight off the bench. And I don't know that they expected that. He's a guy that averaged 3 minutes a game last year. Jorgensen shooting 2. And so Butler's going to get out of here 2-0. Princeton will lose its opening game and head home to take on BYU on Wednesday night. Now Butler will head to Maryland and to take on the Terps also on Wednesday night.
Yeah, that'd be a good game for the Bulldogs. Yeah.
Phil Knight Invitational will start with Texas. Maybe play #1 Duke. Kennedy missed the 3, and that's going to do it. Martin, his 14th rebound, a double-double on a career-high night in rebounds, and Butler has won its 37th consecutive home game against a non-conference opponent. And Laval Jordan is 2-0 in his Butler Bulldogs coaching career with a 10-point win tonight over Princeton. Great game here tonight in Hinkle. The Bulldogs victorious with a big scoring effort. Now for my partner Pete Gillen and our entire crew here in Indianapolis, I'm Jason Horowitz. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Coming up after the break, we'll send you to Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series UTV rounds 9 and 10 from Nevada. Butler wins it by 10. Take care, folks.